I will send you pictures of it. This is not the photo. I'm gonna try to find. This is Bonnie's face. Okay, but like she gifted it to me. I've done it.
我能听得出来，我有2个朋友，他们也来阿虎 ，Christina 和 Tanya， 我也能听得出来，因为 Christina 和 Tanya 他们都在旁边 ，Christina 在那边 ，Tanya 在那边。但是我们刚开始，其实我们第一个课还没有过了，就是老师给我们介绍一下怎么拉，但是没有真的第一个课还没有。所以我们大概都只会拉2个，就是内弦、外弦，然后先要把松香放在弓上。我们昨天晚上有我们的第一节阿虎课，然后其实我们学了怎么用那个弓，然后最难也是可能最重要就是手腕，那个手腕的动作要放松，然后对，如果我们拉弓或者推弓，那个手腕要改变，所以比如。但是我的问题是，就是我要注意那个手腕做的对，那我的声音真的不好，很差。然后我们现在就要做空弦了，就是那个和拉，然后弓在我们2个弦的中间。所以，如果我们要拉内弦呢，我们的那个中指和无名指就要推这个弓，推向我们身体向，对，向内向。然后我们如果要拉外弦的，就有最重要就是中指，然后我们大拇指和食指就也要推那个这部分的弓就这个部分，我忘了怎么说。所以我们昨天晚上也学了怎么说那个这的名字，就是这个是大拇指、食指。为什么是食指？因为是那个用筷子的一个指，然后中指、无名指就是没有名字的，然后小拇指。老师很想我们每天努力练习，然后我们要练习那个手腕。然后我们也要练习大声和小声的拉，所以 因为我们一般比较小声的啦，但是老师也想我们会大声的啦。然后我们现在也要练习，就是慢长弓，所以我们拉得很慢，然后我们用的弓很长，纯弓的。其实那个慢长弓的如果你越来越好，你也要继续做。每次你开始练习的时候，就先练习慢长弓。其他的对，最重要就是那个手腕和大声小声。其他练习对，我们也有一个叫简谱，就是我们的那个乐谱就是用数字的。现在就有2个，因为我们先就用弓弦的，空弦，对，差不多，我继续练习吧。It's going good.
And I just changed. Oh my god.
I feel like it's easier on the inner string to not get the creak noise. Like it takes a lot to make
But it's still easy to make them.
I feel like
Your wrist is not moving at all.
But I think like in the inner string it shouldn't move that much, or he told that it should be quite tense because otherwise you will not able to put the comma
Yeah, but
like from
Tanya asked if it was normal that we lost a little bit of width, and he said yes. And I watched videos, and people were really moving their wrist even on the Nancy.
really.
Yeah.
yeah, you have
How?
to
I don't
you
know.
have to move the wrist because I feel like the general idea of the motion should be the same as the other string, like that
Yeah.
you do this, but
Like-
keeping that pressure on, like the tension, makes it really difficult to like move at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it's really just something you have to practice.
I don't feel like my wrist is like intense, but it's not moving at all in the inner string.
No, it's not
Probably
moving that much.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So teacher was telling to relax. I'm not sure that helps.
But I'm on the verge of losing the like.
Yeah,
I'm changing, and I can feel like the bow is a bit leaving the string and then coming back on. the problem is usually that my thumb loses like grip of the ball,
Yeah, I
and
can
that's
really-
when you lose control over it.
I think I'm not doing this properly with the thumb. I think also I.
Yeah.
People are not bothered at all. Like it's like they don't, or they just don't care. I saw that
I don't
one.
know whether the sound is actually not that loud.
Oh, I'm gonna check how the sound is.
I don't know, but I was thinking if they're so not bothered, either they really do not bother, or they just can't hear.
Christina, I'm just using your case for 1 minute to.
再去看看，因为我们现在在外面练习，因为那个练习房间太小了。但是我们3个也应该一起练习，所以我就去远远看看，我们还不能听得到声音，我还能听得到他们的声音，但是不是那么大，然后好像人不太介意吧。所以这样也挺好的。这个是我们练习的地方，挺好看吧？我们现在只能练习2个，因为我们刚开始。